When we come back, we'll take a look at the latest developments in that vote.
And we're going to talk to an expert about what we can expect to see as far as changes in the Supreme Court if Judge Kavanaugh is confirmed. Don't miss this interview. It's coming your way after the break. Now, many people may have questions about the future of the Supreme Court if Judge Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed to the Supreme Court.
That's right. Local attorney Vikas Bajaj is here with more on how this confirmation could impact the nation's highest court. Vic, great to see you. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. My pleasure. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, talk to us a little bit about how the vote is going to happen today.
Well, the chairman will call for an actual formal vote. I predict at that point you may have a few of the opposing senators raise points of order. We would hope and pray that we don't see a walkout the way we did at the initial advice and consent to send over, because that just holds up the system. It's better to vote one way or the other, but you can bet that Grassley will send over a request for a quick vote, and then, of course, you will have minor delays, but we can look forward to a final vote today.
Okay,
I'm sorry, when you talk about a walkout, if they were to just up, the Senate Democrats got up and just walked out, where would that leave us?
Well, that would leave them having a vote in abstention, and an abstention in this particular situation would means it's a no vote. It would not even be a present vote, so it really wouldn't help their cause in any way. But of course, we have elections coming up, right? And this makes great fodder and a great landscape for one-liners, for instance, future presidential campaigns. Aside from that, as far as the process goes, we can look forward to the process dictating a quick confirmation from this point forward.
Talk to me a little bit about your opinions of this process, because it has been unlike anything we've seen. However, it was earmark of what we saw with Justice Thomas.
That's a very interesting you bring that up, because just last night at 3 in the morning I woke up and I looked at those Senate hearings and the questions and answers that were given to now Supreme Court Justice Thomas, and it is almost an exact blueprint, if not an exact blueprint. A late discovery and revelation of a very serious, uncorroborated allegation of sexual assault just at the brink of the final Senate advice and consider and confirmation vote to send it over to the full Senate committee. Now, the problem with this is it's very difficult as a defense litigator, and I have many times the honor of wearing the hat of a defense litigator in court and also in administrative hearings. And I will tell you, this is the most frightening type of allegation. Why is that? It is precisely because these allegations are really rooted on credibility. Do I believe someone or do I not believe someone? Very rarely, especially in the date and age of 36 years ago, as this allegation was allegedly to have happened, we don't have geo-trackers, we don't have text message administrative subpoenas, we don't have those things that could provide the corroboration. So to answer your question directly, you know, we talked about children just a moment before we were on air, and my son is 2 years and 2 months old, another one coming aboard, but I'm glad he's not old enough, frankly, to look at the TV and to see the live coverage and say, this is how our representatives of our fine country conduct themselves. You asked about my personal views. Personally, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, it is disheartening to see such a mockery and a media free-for-all regarding a very crucial, the most crucial, potentially, decision a president can make to lead the country.
Okay, let's say he is confirmed today.
Yes, sir.
He becomes a member of the Supreme Court. How does that change the complexion of the court? What can we expect going forward?
Well, okay, so we saw Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. That was also hotly contested, also an extremely qualified individual. Now he is on the Supreme Court of the United States. He is a conservative. He worked and clerked for Justice Kennedy, who we know recently retired. Justice Kennedy filled a very important role. While he was on paper a conservative for many issues such as gay rights, homosexual rights, lesbian rights, transgender, etc., equality in that sort of a field, he was an advocate contrary to what we would normally believe to be along the party lines of a conservative. Similarly, with other types of decisions he's had, for instance, recently with the University of Texas and the allegation against its policy in instituting an affirmative action right, he also helped what people would say to be the left way of thinking in that case. So his absence and replacement by Justice Gorsuch has a little more of a conservative tilt. The fear is, from others on the anti-Kavanaugh side, is that Kavanaugh's presence would make a definitive majority for the conservative side. Now, everyone thought that when Judge Kennedy was confirmed. People thought that about some liberal judges that have had dicta and dissenting opinions that have been quite conservative. The beauty of tenure, and that is the inability to fire someone, is you get to hear their true opinions. And so it's very difficult, I believe, for us on the outside to look at, for instance, Justice Kavanaugh's 300-plus published opinions and say, I know this is how he will vote, for instance, on gun rights legislation. He is enormously intelligent. His intelligence is encyclopedic. Regarding and regardless of these allegations that we've heard, not one individual who's informed in this arena has said he's unqualified in an intellectual way. So I think the court may be feared that it will turn into a very conservative court. I do not believe that will happen because Judge Kavanaugh has always said precedents, which is established court cases that must be followed by lower courts, has enormous importance. So he will be very, very, very tight-lipped in any effort to reverse precedents. He will follow it. I will tell you something else, though. I believe it is good for the United States of America to have a definitive decision on groundbreaking cases. A lot of the conflict we experience, both personally, practically, and professionally, is based on the division on such important decisions that rule and regulate our country. I believe, regardless of which side of the aisle you may be, having a definitive answer gives clear direction to lower courts as to which route they should travel upon.
All right. Vic Bajaj, always great to see you. Great to get your take. We really appreciate your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you
so much, and congratulations on the new baby.
Yes, that's right.
That you just mentioned.
Number two's on the way.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be here again after his birth.
Yeah, let's see. We want to see pictures. Yeah, so best wishes to your wife as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vic. Appreciate it.